now 3 o'clock, and it is time for Let's Talk Hair. Hello, everyone. Let's talk hair. Let's talk hair. Let's talk hair. It's about that time. Come on, share with a friend. I'm here on today. Come on, sign on in, chime on in with me. We're here on Instagram, we're here on YouTube, and we are here on Facebook Live. Come on in, join, share if you can. Hey, Carol, how you doing, Miss Gilliam? How you doing there, Missy? I had a brain fart for a minute. I can't remember your first name. Getting old, child. Lord. That's what happens. That's what happens. Come on in on Facebook. Come on in on Instagram. Sugar Honey Graham. Carla McCoy, thank you so much for joining on Instagram. Come on in on YouTube. Join me. Like my channel. Hallelujah. Let's Talk Hair. Carolyn Lassane. Donald Coleman. What's up, sir? Chana. Butler Jones. India. What's going on, my girl? My girl. Hey, Sugar Honey Graham, how y'all doing? Thank y'all for coming on with me on today. How are you all making it during this Corona season? Oh my goodness, isn't this crazy? We've never been in a place like this before, but God has everything in control. What's up, Vince? Michelle Greer, what's going on? Please share. Let's Talk Hair today. That's going on today at 3 o'clock. This is by popular demand while I'm on these venues on today. Valerie, okay. Sugar Honey Graham on Instagram. What's going on, girl? Yes. Please share. This live today actually is by popular demand. I actually had, what's up, Audrey? I actually had a couple of people this week inbox me because they have hair loss. And so with many questions they had and a lot of things going on and people being stressed and confined, I believe that it's putting some wear and tear on some people. So I'm going to I'm going to talk about some things. Carolyn, we got to talk about your gray on another day. Wanda Marie, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I'm going to start in a couple of more seconds. I pray you all are doing well. Please, this evening at 6:30, if you can, join us here at home, virtual worship, as my husband, Bishop Leroy Diet, does Bible study for this evening. If you all aren't too busy, join in with us this evening for Bible study. We would love to see you studying the Word of God with us as we bless the Lord on this evening. So in just a couple of more minutes, I'm going to wait for a couple of more people coming on. What's up, Wanda Pimento? What's going on? Lori, what's going on? Michelle Greer, what's going on? What's going on? So please share, like I said, and don't plan to take up too much of your time, but I am here for questions and concerns, and we're going to try something different. All right. So if you want to call in, what's up, Sands, Vanessa Ross? If you would like to call in and ask a question, you can call 667-352-4194. I'm going to be throwing that phone number out, and I'm going to put you on speaker. And so if you do call, make sure you listen to the phone and not listen to your device when we're talking, so that everybody can hear the question. So if you do have a question on today as I get started, please call 667-352-4194. What's up, Cynthia Graham, Soul Raw? How y'all doing on today? So I'm going to get started. So like I said a little earlier, I am on today by popular demand. I've had many people too just this week to call me because they are dealing with signs of hair loss. And if you all were able to see a live, I started off talking about hair loss and I went in a whole nother direction because the Lord was leading me. But I did, when I was with my husband, we were both talking about stress and hair loss. So on today, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth. What's up, my namesake, Maxine Rush? I'm going to go more in depth as we deal with stress and how it relates to our hair, and how we can get through this. And you don't have to lose your hair during this season. You can hold on to your hair. And I'm Veronique Harris. I'm glad you're here, ma'am. I'm doing this just for you. This is for Veronique Harris, y'all. So we're going to get started. Bishop Reginald Kennedy, God bless you, sir. Thank you for joining. Yes, the number is 667-352-4194. But before we start calling, let me go through some details with some things first. So let's go back before we start talking about stress. Let's just talk about hair and how hair grows and the process that it takes. Okay, Connie folks. All right. Miss Castro, thank you for joining in. All right, so we all know that your hair grows from where? Your hair grows from the inside out, okay? So a lot of times when people are coming and they're talking to me about their hair and what's going on, I try my best to get them to understand that your hair is not a single entity all in itself. Your hair is connected to your body, and it grows from inside of your body. So when we're looking at particular things, what's up, Jonathan Patterson, Sarah, what's going on? What's up, Assistant Pastor Joanne Coates? So when we're talking about our hair and hair growth, we have to first understand that there are a lot of things that are going on inside of the body that can cause many types of hair loss. So what we're going to be talking about today is actually stress and how it relates to our hair loss. So hair loss grows from the root of your follicle. Okay, so I think all of you have basically seen a basic picture, or may have in mind a basic picture of what a hair follicle looks like. But what we must all understand is all hair follicles are not made the same. Your hair follicle actually creates what type of curl pattern you may have. So in comparison to us, African Americans and Caucasians, our hair follicles are totally different, which means our needs and our demands for our hair is different. Okay, they're not the same. There are books and things that will tell you that hair is hair, but all hair is not the same, and it cannot be and it's made up of millions of cell proteins. Okay, so that's how your hair already consists of proteins, because many cells gather together and in the form of a protein. So your hair is made up of protein. So just kind of going a little bit further, when you are dealing with your hair and you're thinking your hair is falling, one of the first things you'll run and go do is to go grab some protein. Well, that's not necessarily what you need to do in the process of conditioning your hair, because your hair is already made up of protein. Most of the time, the needs of our hair is moisturization. We need moisture for our hair. So you have all of these cells that grow in the root of the hair follicle, which then produces your hair. Blood from the blood vessel in your scalp feeds the root, which creates more cells and makes your hair grow. The hair then pushes through the scalp, and then you're able to see the hair is exposed. Now, there is a cycle that goes on, okay, and it's called the cycle, the hair life cycle. And there are actually 4 stages. It's the anagen, it is the catagen, the telogen, the exogen cycle. Okay, this is a cycle that your hair, each strand of hair goes through this cycle. Each strand of hair is on its own cycle. So now, not one hair strand is in the same cycle at the same time, if it's all in different variations. Okay. So at the anagen stage, anagen, A-N-A-G-E-N, the anagen stage. Hi, Miss Fennell. What's up, Doobie? At the anagen stage, okay, that's your growth stage. That's when the hair is growing. And that stage lasts for 3 to 5 years. Everybody's hair growth is different. Everybody's hair does not grow as fast or as long, but in general terms, your growing is from 3 to 5 years. Now, your catagen stage, CATAGEN, is a very short stage. Okay, that's called the regression phase, and it lasts about 2 to 3 weeks on average. It's a transitional phase that your hair is going through. The hair stops growing, okay, and it detaches from the blood supply, now considered to be club hair. Okay, everybody's hair does this. Then we have the third stage. I'm doing good, Miss Fennell. Then we have the third stage called the telogen phase, and this is the resting phase. Okay, the hair begins a resting period. So your hair has separated from the blood flow in the catagen stage. Now it's just resting inside of the hair shaft, okay, of the follicle. I'm sorry, it's just resting inside of the follicle, okay? And new hair then is growing up underneath it. As the new hair grows up from underneath, it then pushes that hair out of the hair follicle, and that's when you get the shedding, and it can last for about 3 months. And then we have what's called the exogen, EXOGEN, and that's the shedding stage, where the hair actually is pushed out and it actually has fallen and it is coming out. Okay, so those are the stages just of growth that happen on a normal basis, as the hair regrows and new hair comes in, as the hair that has grown lasts in its position, and then it pushes out. Hey, Peggy Carmichael, this is what happened. This is the phase that every strand of hair, this is what is going through. Okay, but what happens then when we start going through stress? When we start going through stress, we already know. Well, let me backtrack. Okay, your hair gets nourished by your blood. That's where your hair gets its source from. It gets its source from the blood. So when you're going through stress, your blood and your heart is pumping really, really hard. And when that happens, it constricts on your blood vessels. Okay, when it constricts on your blood vessels, that then affects the flow of blood that is now going to the roots of your hair. Hey, Jada Baker, how are you? What's going on? Hey, Peggy, Miss Peggy, thank you. I'm glad that you're on. Please share if you can. So there are three types of stress that affects the hair that we must pay attention to. Okay, it's called our first level of stress that is affected by the hair is called telogen effluvium. Telogen effluvium. Okay, so telogen is, like we said when we talked about the stages of hair, telogen is the resting stage. So this is when your hair is in the resting state. Okay, telogen effluvium. Stress pushes large numbers of hair in the follicle into a resting stage. Okay, so when this happens, stress has caused not just those hairs that are in that stage. It's causing hairs at one time that aren't ready to be in the resting stage. Stress has pushed those hairs in that stage all at one time. Okay. Within months or after the stress event has happened, Gina Gibson, you will find that you might have some hairs that have come out through shampooing and through combing. You might see a lot of hairs, and this has happened because of a stressful moment. And what has happened in telogen effluvium, stress has pushed a large number of hairs into the resting stage. Okay, Kim, Sora, what's going on? Wanda, what's going on? How you doing on today? So then we have trichomania. Trichomania, which is a condition where a person actually, what's going on, Sans, which actually a person pulls on their hair subconsciously. They don't even realize that they're doing it. You're pulling on your hair, you're scratching your hair, you're rubbing in your hair, and it actually brings you comfort. And that's how you're actually dealing with the stress. It's bringing you comfort, but you're actually making your hair come out. That's called trichomania. Okay. And then we have alopecia areata. Now, alopecia areata are the things that prompted me to do this live on today, because I had people who reached out to me who had these issues. They actually took pictures and showed me that they had small circle patches of hair in their head. And this is also caused by stress. It's caused by severe chronic stress. I don't know if you all remember when we talked about different types of stress. There's acute stress, and then I can't remember the other one, but then there's chronic stress. Chronic stress is the most serious stress that's out there. This information explains a lot. What do you do to suggest for the shedding? Okay, shedding is natural. Okay, shedding is what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to shed hair. Okay, so we don't want to do anything about shedding. If the hair doesn't shed, then a new hair that's coming in that's trying to replace it will not be able to come in. Okay, so natural shedding. And what you need to know is, so a lot of times I'll have clients that come into the salon and they'll say, I have a lot of hair. My hair is breaking off. And it just seems like it's a lot. I'll get back to you, Wanda. If I don't get back to your question, please type it in again, because I don't want to lose my train of thought. I'm getting older, y'all. And so give me a chance. Put it back in if I don't answer, okay? When you're dealing with hair that's shedding, I was talking about that. When you're dealing with hair that's shedding, and a person comes in and they're seeing a lot of shedding and all of that, I will ask them, do you see long strands or do you see short, choppy strands of hair? Is it different lengths, or is it almost, it seems like it's the whole length of your hair? And Michelle, bring that question back to me again as well, okay? If it's long strands, you actually see the white bulb on the end, that's natural shedding. That is your hair going through the process of what it needs to do in order for new hair to come in, okay? So natural shedding has to take place, all right? There was another question, but let me get back to alopecia areata before because this is a very good point. Okay. Another form of stress-related hair loss is acute alopecia areata, and it's due to severe stress, and the body's immune system attacks the hair follicle, causing hair to come out in an area. Okay. So that means you're under major stress, and your hair follicles are being attacked by your immune system. So when you're under stress, your adrenaline starts to run, your pressure goes up, you get all type of adrenaline, and it goes towards your muscles, because your muscles want to fight off. Your muscles is trying to get your body to be able to handle, what's about to happen, able to handle what it is that's going on. But when we're under this stress all the time, that's not what your body has been designed to handle, all of this stress all the time. So we have to learn how to just step back and count and deregulate our senses and our mind to try to calm down. We're carrying so much in us. We're loaded with so many burdens, and we don't really know how to place them. Okay, what's going on, John White? And so that's what's happening. It's affecting our blood vessels and our scalp. It also causes inflammation. And also when your body is in pain, it causes stress. And pain is a sign, Annette Hall, pain is a sign that inflammation is in your body. And when you have inflammation in your body, you also have inflammation in your hair follicle, which means that during that time, your hair can easily slide out of the hair follicle because your hair follicle is inflamed. Okay? All right. Now, let's go back to one of the questions. Let's see. I can't find it. Somebody asked the question, does stress cause psoriasis? Yes, stress actually, and psoriasis, they do play a part. Psoriasis has to do with, also has to do with mineral breakdowns and vitamin deficiencies that you have in your body as well. But psoriasis also is a form of an allergic reaction to things. Okay, so when you're dealing with a lot of stress, it may cause your allergies to flare. Okay, and psoriasis is connected with allergy related issues. And so it can cause your psoriasis to flare up. That's another thing of your body letting you know that you're dealing with something. Your body is when your hair is coming out and you have these small patches in your scalp, your body is letting you know, it is telling you something. My whole motto was studying hair loss and dealing with individuals with hair loss, and this being the major core of my business and why I'm passionate about it, is because I truly believe that our hair loss is an indicator letting us know what bodily functions are not balanced, things that are not going on. That's something that just is not right. We cannot just take hair loss as just a simple, my hair is coming out and I can just go buy this shampoo and I can just go buy this treatment and I can just go buy this and solve the problem and it'll be 1, 2, 3 and it's done. A lot of these commercials are false, but there are a lot of underlying factors as well that also pertain to hair loss. But today we're talking about stress. But just to talk about hair loss in general, there's so many things that tie in with hair loss that we don't really pay attention to. We have to pay attention to our diet. We have to pay attention to our age. We have to pay attention to our hormonal levels as it pertains to our age. We have to, and even with women, with young girls, before they've started their menstrual cycle, when their body is preparing to start the menstrual cycle, their hair will go through changes. That's why I'm not an advocate of doing relaxers on young children before they started their menstrual cycles. That has been a policy of mine. I know some people aren't even advocates of hair relaxers. I do still do relaxers. I still get hair relaxer myself. I'm not against hair relaxers. I'm just against improper usage of an application of hair relaxers. Now, during this time, a lot of people, y'all are doing y'all hair at home. Hey, Kawanda, my sister, I see you on here, ma'am. I know a lot of you all are doing your hair at home. So please, 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 please don't try to do any type of, things that you would never ask your stylist to do. And now you're going to try to do it at home. I want Bonquisha's press and curl to be put on the back burner. Don't you be trying to start no business in your house. Not today, not during this season. Now is not the time to start. Okay. All right. Somebody else had another question that I forgot. Breakage in the center of your head, different areas of hair breakage. That to me could be almost like a nervous condition as well. Michelle Greer, breakage in the center of your head. A lot of times what we don't tend to pay attention to, if you work at a desk, or you're constantly on the phone and you sit and you can kind of sit and dig, you're on the phone and you're digging in your hair, or you just constantly, you always have your hands in your head. I'll give you this one example. I had a client who kept getting a breakage right in this area of her scalp, right here. And it would be right where I kind of parted it, just kept showing up right there. The hair would grow out and then there would be a time we would just, so I said, it just came to me. I guess the Lord gave me the revelation. I said, I want you to go home. And while you're at work and while you're home, I want you to tell everybody who's around you to let you know how many times you put your hands in your hair, how many times they see you scratching your head. Well, that next day, she called me and told me that everybody, every 5 minutes, kept bringing her self to the attention that she was digging in her head. Subconsciously, she was causing this hole in her head to come out. So can we worry our hair? Yes. Can we subconsciously dig in our hair and we don't realize it? Yes, those are factors. And I do believe that's a form of stress as well. That's a way of us just trying to deal with what's going on. Carla McCoy, very true. We have been working hard to bring my hair back. Yes, it takes a long time, but worth all the effort. I thank you. I think you will be pleased. Okay. All right, Carla. The test will be in the pudding when you come in. So one of my clients, you've actually seen some pictures of some progress that we've done, some stages and how her hair has grown back. And then we started doing some different styles. She started doing some different things. And we started not being as proactive as we were with coming in, getting scalp treatments. Now, I did talk about not all shampoos and conditioners. That's not the whole thing. And no, it's not, but it can help. it can help when it's done right and when it's done properly. So we did some scalp treatments and we did some other things. And the more knowledge that I know, I'm studying a lot of things. I'm studying nutrition. I'm studying all kinds of stuff to kind of keep me abreast on other causes that could be causing hair loss. Okay, I have a bald circle in the front of my hair. I feel the fuzz and it just won't grow. Okay, Veronique, what I want to say to you is, you said you keep feeling for the fuzz and it just won't grow. Sometimes, like I said, we can worry our hair to death. Okay. You constantly, if it's in the front of your head, okay, I'm quite sure that it's right there. So it's bothering you. So you can't get your mind off of it. You're looking in the mirror, you always see it. But I want you to try to style your hair differently. Maybe get some hair from the back, push it to the front, swoop it to the side to cover it up and leave it alone. We do too much sometimes. I have 3 full of locks. However, I've noticed the hair on the sides of thinning. Vince, give me a moment. I'm going to respond to your locks that are thinning. Okay. If I don't mention it, please come back and remind me. But I do have a point about locks. So Veronique, what we need to do is get your attention off of what's going on. I don't want you to go and get any glue, put any glue on the matter. Glue, that makes it worse. I'm not an advocate of glue. Bonding glue for hair extensions, really, in my opinion, was not a style choice that should be 24/7. I feel like glued-in pieces were first designed for temporary looks. For example, when I grew up and when I went to hair school, there were different types of hairstyles. We had daytime styles, nighttime styles. I believe that the initial introduction of the bonding was supposed to be for a nighttime style. If you had short hair, you wanted to have long hair for an occasion, you put these pieces in, you wear them, you take them out. But what do? We will wear something out. It was supposed to be temporary. Now we've made it all the time. It was not designed to be that way. So what's happening? We're suffering results of clogged hair follicles, where now the hair has nowhere to grow. It has been clogged by the bonding glue. Most people, or some people, are allergic to the adhesive, the latex of it. So we're having scalp issues due to the bonding glue. We're having fungus on the scalp. Yes, fungus in the hair follicle. Just a tremendous amount of problems that came from something that really was designed to be temporary, but we've made it permanent. So now we're suffering the consequences because we now don't have hair. And so in order to have hair, when we did have hair, but we put methods and put things in our hair that has caused our hair to not grow out. And so now we have to use them all the time. So Vince, I'm going to get to your question. Vince, I went to high school with Vince. We graduated from Woodlawn High School together, and Vince has long locks. And so he's saying he's noticing some thinning on the side. Those of you who do wear locks, you must pay attention to how often you're getting your lock maintenance. Lock maintenance and braids can have the same type of tension. Your locks, when they're being twisted and they're being done, that same tension and that same pulling can be too tight, and it can be too often. If you're not going to a loctician that does conditioning, if you've never had your locks twisted and conditioned, those natural hair fibers need moisture. And so what tends to happen, they tend to break. Also, when you're having your locks for so long, Vince, you now have gravity pulling on all of that hair. You have it pulling, so it's stretching. Not only do you have the twisting of the lock, but you have the weight of the lock in the hair that's pulling on the roots of your hair that also can be causing those thinnings. So the temple area is always a very sensitive area, and that can be the area where it comes out first. So Vince, you got to pay very, very close attention to one, how often you're getting your lock maintenance, if you're getting any treatments, any conditioning treatments when it's done. And also, Vince, you need to pay good attention to what I've noticed, heard from another friend of mine. I had a friend, her brother had locks that he allowed them to grow all the way down to his butt. And then he decided to cut them off, and he just cut them off all at one time. Once he cut his locks off, he began having neck spasms and he began having neck problems. What happens when you grow your locks for so long, your neck and the muscles in your neck, they grow to handle the weight of the locks. Okay. So it's not like it's a fast transition. It's a slow transition. So your hair grows, and so your neck learns how to hold up all of the weight from those locks. And then when you cut it off all the way, that weight that was holding your neck in a certain position is no longer there. So now your neck doesn't have that same stress that it had on it, but now your neck is kind of just out of kilter. I don't really know the correct terminology to call it, but now this gentleman suffers from a lot of neck spasms because that weight is no longer there. So now his neck has to learn how to now readjust to not handle that weight. So when you're growing your locks, when you want to cut them off, don't do it all at one time. Your neck is like a linebacker. Yeah, I know, but just don't cut off all your locks all at one time. If you decide to do it, take it gradually, cut it off bit by bit by bit, and even donate your locks. There might be somebody who might even would like to purchase your locks. Just make sure you shampoo them, buddy. My mom had a sister lock, but recently cut them off. She is experiencing bald spots, dry, and her hair is very thin. Any suggestions? Well, sister locks, I really don't know the technique as to how sister locks are made, or how they are designed. I do know it's almost like a locking, in a sense, like it's used with some type of thread. I'm not really sure, but the hair is kind of twisted up. And what tends to happen is, again, the hair just isn't conditioned properly. We think that because our hair is natural, that we don't need to use proper conditioning, and that we tend to think that our hair is the strongest when it's natural. And in actuality, permed and relaxed hair is actually a lot stronger than our natural hair. Believe it or not. Yes, it is. Our hair strand is very fragile. Okay. I don't have my pen here. I could do a diagram. Okay. So just think of how curly your natural hair is. It's very curled. It's very kinky. You got all of these little curls. Okay. So you have those little curls, and I'm going to draw a picture. All right. I found a pen. All right. So see these curls? Can y'all see that? Okay. See that? See those tight curls? Those are tight curls. These are going to be different types of hair strands that I'm going to show you. I'm writing on my husband's cards. Ooh, let me do another piece of paper. They his cards. I ain't supposed to be writing on them. Uh-oh. He's watching too. All right. So wherever you see a bend is where you have a weak spot. And our hair is made up of different bends. Now my pen ran out of ink. So I'm going to show you these two different types of hair strands, okay? All right, we have tight curly coils. And our hair is actually like this as well, tight curly coils. Okay, wherever you see a bend, okay, that is a weak spot. Wherever there's a bend, just think about, I miss you too, Miss Ruth. Just think about a wire. And if a wire, remember we used to have slinkies back in the day? In those bends, over time, you will get a kink in that slinky, and then it, if it kept going on, the slinky it would break. And what's happening with our hair is we have these tight curls. Okay, so I said wherever there's a bend, there's a weak spot. So our hair is growing out of the hair follicle with bends and curves, which means it's growing out of the hair follicle weak. It's at a weakened state. Okay, so then we have to think about, that's the way our hair is made. But let's think about the hair shaft. Our hair shaft has a cuticle layer, a cortex layer, and the medulla layers. Okay, the cuticle layer is the outside layer of the hair. And we can think about the cuticle layer like shingles on a roof. Okay, so in our hair, our shingles on our roof, on our strand of hair, are always sitting wide open. Okay, so that means that our inner layers of our hair strand is exposed, and it's able to break fast. It's not able to hold on. Hey, Miss Joan, it's not able to hold on to moisture. Okay, so our hair is weak. What the chemical relaxer does, the chemical relaxer actually closes the shingles on the roof so that it makes the hair strand silk, and it makes it silky, it makes it stronger, and it doesn't allow anything to penetrate into the inner parts of our hair. So when the humidity in the summertime and our hair swells up, that's because our hair was not chemically made to have those cuticles closed up. Now, over time, flat ironing over time can also seal those cuticle layers together. And then we call that heat damage. Your hair actually is not damaged. Your cuticle layers have just been closed. But it did change the structure of your natural hair. But there's so many wrong words and misinterpretations of what damaged hair is. I had a client, she was like, my hair is heat damaged, I'm going to go and cut it off. She's trying to get her hair to grow. Why? So anyway, it's because of some of our natural stylists really don't understand the components of hair, what the natural hair is really doing, why it reacts the way it does, and what it really needs. Okay, so a lot of times when we're looking at styles from the natural perspective, a lot of times when we see a style like what I have, we tend to think, oh, is that your hair? Is that your hair? We've been fooled so many times that a lot of these pictures that we see of a lot of these natural styles is all fake hair. It's not even real hair. That's not my real hair. This was added in. Child, my hair, but this long. Okay. Nikki, you had a question. I don't know how, because I have no chemicals in this and makes how my hair is. Nikki, ask the question again. I don't understand your question. Nikki, you said you're thinking of starting over, and y'all forget. All right, I have my phone here, so y'all can call in 667-352-4194, and you can ask your question out loud. Hopefully, my little studio will work, but y'all can call in, ask a question, 667-352-4194. I will put you on speaker so everybody can hear your question, and we can go from there. What's a good product for dry hair? All right. One thing I need to share with you all is that I don't know anything about non-professional products that are sold in Walmart and in a lot of the other stores. I'm really sorry, but I only use professional products. Design Essentials, I know, is a product that's now sold in Target. You need their moisture retention shampoo. You also need their cleansing shampoo, and you need their moisture conditioner. Now, I mentioned two types of shampoo. When you're shampooing your hair, you need to cleanse the hair and you need to moisturize the hair. So what happens? So I'm not a fan of non-sulfate shampoo. I'm not a fan of it. I never have been. And why is that? Well, I'm not a fan because of all the things we put in our hair. We really need something strong enough to be able to remove all of what we put on the hair. So you have, all right, so let's start from the beginning. You put your conditioner in, you rinse it out. Then you might wrap it with some mousse. Then you might put a leave-in and then you done oiled your scalp, and then you just sprayed it, and then you done curled it, and then you done put some edge control on. Look at all those things that you're piling on your hair, and then you want to use some non-sulfate shampoo to cleanse your hair. What is it cleaning? Nothing. You don't have any type of astringent to remove all that heavy product that has been put in our hair. And y'all know we put too much. Thank you, Carolyn. Design Essentials, they have a natural hairline in as well. We put too much in our hair and our scalp. We go to dig in those jars. We dig in like this, and we grab it and we put it all in. You know, we just tend to be too heavy-handed. That also causes clogged hair follicles as well. Another thing is people just not shampooing your hair as often as you need to. You need to shampoo your hair really every 2 weeks if you can, every week if possible. If you're wearing weaves and things of that nature, I do understand that that you might not be able to do that, but shampooing your hair is the first line of defense for good hair growth. Okay. Nikki is saying my hair is all natural, no chemicals. I'm thinking of locking. People tell me because at what's that 51, I still have a very thick head of hair. Of course, your hair is pretty good, Nikki. Knowing my hair like you do, Maxine, do you think I can start? Oh yeah, locks are good. Locks are nice. I like locks. I thought about it, but I like changing my look and my style too often. And so that's the thing with you too, Nikki. Like, I know you like to change your style, but now we do have, you can wear wigs on top of it, you know, so that will have to be your transitional, but don't get too comfortable with just wearing wigs. Wigs, that's a whole nother topic in itself. It's like these lace wigs and just like I was talking about earlier with the bonding and the tracks. So again, lace wigs were designed to be for entertainment, for those who did all types of traveling and they entertained and they were on stage a lot. They wanted to be able to change their hair with celebrity hair. Okay, think about, you know, all of them, the Young and the Restless and all the soap opera stars or whatever. You know, those particular things have been out for years. Just think about Miss Doubtfire. Y'all remember how old is Miss Doubtfire? He had on a lace wig. Those are theatrical wigs that were designed to be worn for people in theater, people in entertainment, but now we caught a hold of it. Okay, we caught a hold of it, and now we're wearing lace wigs like we grew the hair out of our scalps. And so what's happening? One of the things I hate to see is the fact that we have hair. We're wearing the lace wigs so much to the point where our own hair isn't getting the oxygen that it needs to have. When you don't get the oxygen, your hair needs oxygen. It needs the atmosphere. It needs the environment. It needs the sunlight. It needs vitamin D from the sky. No baby came out the womb with all of this hair. We're doing too much. So then what I'm seeing is a lot of younger women are now having problems with hair loss, edges thinning. We're using the got-to-be glue, which is filled with all types of alcohol and all types of chemicals inside of it. Then we're using the spray, and then we're using the glue, and we're leaving it on, and then we got the edge control, and we're smoothing the edges down. I mean, we're just doing too much, and God has given us good hair. Let's not, we go overboard. That's our problem. We take it to the extreme. It's okay to wear lace wigs, but you can't wear them every day, all day like they're your hair. You got to give your hair and scalp a break. You're calling it, protective hairstyles, but a lot of these protective hairstyles is not doing anything but damaging your own hair. And then, as I said, hair loss is an indicator of something that's going on in your inner body. So when you're having your hair covered up for so long, and then you see, you take your wig off, and you're like, oh my God, something's going on. So then you want to come to the stylist, but you've been putting, the wig on yourself. You've been going to YouTube University. You've graduated. You've taken so many classes, and you're doing your lace wig so well. It's hard to get people to break away from it, but you have to give these things a break. You have to give your scalp and your hair an opportunity to live. Hey, Lady Lisa Harvin, I love natural hair on others, but I prefer chemical in my hair. Me too. What do you recommend we do to have chemicals? Wait a minute. What do you recommend we who have chemicals should do while social distancing? Well, what you need to do is to make sure your hair and scalp is moisturized. Make sure you shampoo it. Now, what is not going to happen is, hey, Eugene, if you condition your hair properly and you have a flat iron at home, you can get through this whole season without your hair breaking if you have a chemical. Okay, you just need to make sure your hair is moisturized, meaning moisturized with a moisturizing conditioner under heat. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to, if you have a hood dryer, you can shampoo your hair. Okay, you're going to cleanse your shampoo, use a cleansing shampoo. You're going to cleanse it 2 times with the cleansing shampoo. Then you're going to follow up with a moisturizing or conditioning shampoo. Do not just use your conditioning shampoo as your major shampoo because your hair is not clean and your scalp is not clean. What's up, guys? What's up, Stephanie? Your hair is not clean and your scalp is not clean. Okay, that's just a nice filler, a nice transitional shampoo to prepare your hair for the conditioner. Because I do know sulfate shampoo does take all of the oils and moistures out of your hair, but it needs to take all of the more oils and moistures out of your hair. You got to start from a clean base. You got to start from a clean, you know how if you have hardwood floors, sometimes you got to go and you got to strip the floors down and then you got to add it back, add the luster and everything back to the floors. That's what you got to do with your hair. You got to remove all of this dirt and debris. You have your perspiration. If you're going for hot flashes like me, you got the regular debris and stuff that's in the air. You got the conditioners and the hairsprays and the spritzes and the edge controls that you've put on. You got to remove all of that. And you cannot just do it with one shampoo. You cannot just do it with 2 shampoos. If you've had your hair in braids, you cannot shampoo your hair and scalp 2 or 3 times and think your hair and scalp is clean. It's not. Just think about all the dirt. You've washed your body every day, but you're only washing your hair. If you're only washing your hair every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, even once a week, and you're only going to wash it 2 or 3 times or shampoo. And I'm saying I'm so incorrect. We wash clothes, we shampoo hair. That's the correct way we're supposed to say it. But you're only shampooing your hair twice after you haven't shampooed your hair in 2 or 3 times. Now, if you come into the salon, we make sure we get in there. We know how the hair is supposed to feel and we can tell that it's clean. We use professional products that get in, do what we need to do because we can't spend all day shampooing in your hair all the time. But thank you, Lisa. Yeah, I like that analogy too. Yeah, so when you are, so then after you've shampooed it, you need to follow up with a conditioner, a moisturizing conditioner. Now, do you need a protein? No, not necessarily. Hey, Sharon. Recommend good shampoo for locks. Let me get back to you, okay? But shampoo is shampoo. Just like with your locks, you still have to clean your scalp. See, there are things that we don't pay attention to. We have to pay attention to our hair health and our scalp health. There are 2 different things we got to pay attention to. And a lot of times we combine them all into one and we thinking we're doing all the same thing. So if you're having a scalp issue, you got to pertain to the scalp issue. And if you're having hair issues, you got to pertain to your hair issues. Okay. So we're going back to shampooing and conditioning. So you're shampooing with cleansing shampoo, you're following up with a moisturizing shampoo, and you're following up with a moisturizing conditioner. Do you need protein? Has your hair been damaged by a chemical? If your hair has not been damaged by a chemical, you do not need protein. Earlier on in the live, Daddy's Girl, what's up on Instagram? What's going on? You do not need protein unless your hair has been chemically damaged. I said earlier in the live that your hair is already made up of protein all by itself. So you don't need to add protein. Okay. And then you follow up with the moisturizing conditioner under a hooded dryer if you have it. If you don't have a hooded dryer, you can actually get a plastic cap, go get a towel, wet the towel, make it as hot as you can, wring the water out, try to make it as hot as you can, and wrap it around your plastic cap, and then go around the house and vacuum the floors or clean the mirrors or do some type of work up your own body heat. That body heat will allow the cuticle layer of your hair to open up to let the moisturizer seep in on the inside of your hair. Okay. And then when you rinse it, you want to rinse it with tepid water, not really cold, but not really hot, because that cold water will actually close the hair follicle. And that is with chemically treated hair and with natural hair. But with natural hair is the cuticle is going to stay open. It's only going to close but so much. So that's, you have to be very careful when you're combing through your natural hair or just hair in general. You always want to start from the back. You want to work your way up. You want to take small sections, and you want to start at the ends of the hair and work up. Okay. We do not want to use big wide tube combs like this. Okay. We don't want big, look at my nails. Ew, I need to get my nails done. We don't want to use big wide tooth combs. We need to use combs where the teeth are close together. And why is that important? We need to make sure that when you're combing the conditioner through the hair, that the conditioner is actually hitting every strand of hair. The wider the teeth of the comb, it's missing strands of the hair, which means the conditioner is not getting where it needs to get. So the closer the teeth, the conditioner is able to smooth and get through the hair and condition every hair strand. Okay. So that's what you need. You need every hair strand to get coated. Now, you don't need to put gobs of conditioner in the hair. Conditioner is made to distribute. So you don't need to see it in order to know that it's working. You need to feel it and make sure it's all the way through your hair, but you don't need to see it. That's too much of product. I'm product minded because I'm a business owner. So I don't want to be wasteful of a product, but I don't know if that will be your concern, but you want to buy a good product, pay good money for it, and wash most of it down the drain. You only need to use maybe a quarter size, a $50 size if you have, or more if you have a lot of hair. Of course, you'll need more, but you don't need to it all out and put it in your hair. You don't need to see it. You need to feel it. You don't need to see it to make sure it's working. You just need to feel it. Okay, Nikki Maxine is aware that I have been wearing wigs for years because I like different stuff. Every day of the year, I came out of my wig since I've been off. My natural hair was a mess. I couldn't even... and I forgot to mention one thing when it came to the process of what you do when you are shampooing your hair. So your hair was a mess, Nikki. Locks aren't high maintenance, Nikki. They're not. You actually will get very spoiled with some locks. You really can. You'll get very spoiled. You just need to make sure that you're not getting your lock maintenance too often, and that whoever you're going to that's doing it. Wayne does it. Wayne, he does all the. That's his thing. I can't do it. My fingers can't take it. All of that, twisting a little. This is over 40 years with, doing hair. Y'all down in my basement. You remember them days. But anyway, one thing I forgot to mention before you shampoo your hair, though, you want to make sure you actually go through and you brush your hair. Okay. Brush through your hair really, really well. If you've had your hair in braids, even if you had your hair in a weave, even if however you've had your hair, before you go to stick your hair up under the water. Remember, we mentioned the cycle of hair. The resting stage and then the shedding stage where your hair comes out. So if your hair has been like this and I take my twist out, I need to go and comb through it because the hair has not been combed through, but the hair that has shedded and you want to be finding that you're having a hard time to comb it through and get the conditioner through. So before you even start to shampoo your hair, you need to get a very good vent brush or a paddle brush. And brush through your hair, get all of the old shed hair that has shed, get it all out. Then you can go and then shampoo your hair, put it underneath the dryer. I'm not underneath the dryer, underneath the water, and then shampoo it. Also, it's a good way to stimulate your scalp to get blood flowing. It actually will feel very good with you shampooing. We have another question, Danita Ray. My daughter is so tender-headed. Her hair is very thick and very long. I already take my time, detangle, use good products, etc. However, the slightest tangle just causes her great pain. Well, one of the things you're going to have to do, and like, is there anything I can do to? Okay, so when we're dealing with yeah, down in my basement, you remember? Yes, I used to have the people down there. One of the things we have to remember when we're dealing with children is the fact that we really have to comb their hair every day. And we put styles in so that we won't have to comb their hair every day. But y'all know our mothers, when we were younger, we have to take the time to do it. Our mothers combed our hair every day. If you have cornrows, then you're going to have to be very delicate. I would suggest that you get some conditioner and put it on, start at the bottoms, do small sections, work your way up, but you're going to have to do it. You got to get through it. One of the worst things that happened to me on an Easter, y'all know how Easter can be. And I tell you, I hadn't done children on Easter in the longest time, but somebody called me at the last minute and I said, why not? I've seen it from a distance. It didn't seem bad. So I said, okay. I had a new shampoo person. So my shampoo assistant took the young lady back, said, comb your hair again. Yeah, we got to comb our hair every day. We don't want to do it, but we have to. So we took the young lady back, and my shampoo assistant didn't do what I just said, which is one of the first things learned in cosmetology is before you start anybody's hair, you must first examine the hair and the scalp. And in examining the hair and the scalp, what are we looking for? We're looking for, there could be bugs, there could be abrasions, there could be breakage, there could be all kinds of things. But if she had examined the hair and scalp, she would have known that her hair was already matted. Her mother would wet her hair, put conditioner in it, slide the conditioner through, would never comb it because her daughter would flinch. She was tender-headed, so she never really combed her hair. So remember I talked about the stages of the hair and the hair that for like a whole hour. I had to send her home. I had to tell her mother, I said, look, you haven't shampooed her hair. I mean, you haven't brushed her hair. You haven't combed her hair because you don't want her to cry, but you're going to bring her to the salon. And now she's going to scream and holler all through the salon on an Easter Saturday. Oh my God, it was horrendous. It was so horrible. I felt bad for the baby. She was, you know how you cry and you do all of that. It was so bad, but we have to take the time to comb the little girl's hair. Now, with children, do we need to shampoo their hair every day? I don't want the assumption I do her hair. Yeah, I'm wondering, is there something I could do for her scalp that would help? There's nothing to help with her scalp being tender. That's going to come with just her getting used to doing her hair. There's nothing you can put in. You don't want to put any numbing solutions on there so she won't feel the pain. Like she's just going to have to learn how to brave it and tough it all out. And you just got to take your time, take small sections, comb through the hair, oil it as well as possible to make it oily. And what I was going to say about young people, if they're not, I don't really believe that children below the age of maybe 8 or 9, below maybe 8, need to have their hair shampooed. It's so much like we do. You know, they're not working, they're not going out. They might run. And in the summertime, of course, maybe a little bit more because they're perspiring, they're sweating. But during the wintertime, we don't need to shampoo their hair as often. And actually what happens is their hair is the best when it's the oiliest and when it's the dirtiest. And so on the flip side of that, just, you know, in order to kind of safeguard yourself, now that you don't shampoo it as often, Danita. Maybe in the summertime, you'll have to do it a little bit more. But in the summertime, maybe you should decide to do braids where you can actually then have it braided down in a cornrow style. Make sure before you take the cornrows out, you go and you oil the scalp to be able to kind of soothe it and make the hair oily so that when you go to take the cornrows out, it'll be slippery so that when you go to brush it and things of that nature, you can it'll be easier to brush through and comb through. And you can do that on a regular basis too. Put more oil in it so that you can brush through it, comb through it. And so it's easier. I mean, with some clients that I get, some young ladies that come in, they will actually, oh, my Instagram has gone off. They will actually go and put more, um, put more, put more conditioner on their hair before we go to shampoo it. We'll put more conditioner on it while it's dry, comb through it to try to get some of the tangles out, and then rinse it, rinse it, rinse it, rinse it really good to try to get a lot of things out, so that it'll make it a little easier for you to then get all of the old hairs out, all of the hairs that have been shed. Also, I just had thought about something and then it slipped me real quick. Is there anybody else who has any more questions? This is going real good. Thank you all for who've joined in, who are sharing with me on today. Lisa Goodwin was Wanda Marie, you said something about a consultation. Did you want a consultation? And one of the things that I do and pay close attention to is when I am servicing somebody with a hair loss issue. I do know that all hair loss is not created equally. You know, everybody's bottom line concerns are not the same. So when I'm dealing with a person who does have a hair loss concern, I go into everything. I go into, Sharon Wilson, your question about shampoo, about locks. I go into your health background. I go into what type of work you do. I go into whether or not you work out. I go into now, I'm even getting more involved with what you eat, what you put in your diet, how often you drink water. And I'm also becoming like more of a more natural person. I'm drinking more natural teas and doing detoxes, not just detoxing for your body. I actually detox your scalp. And so people who come in for their first time and you're sitting down and you're actually getting treatments for your scalp, because you have these buildups. We talked about all of these things in the air. We talked about all of these things in the environment. So I do what's called a scalp detox to try to remove all of this debris. For clients who come on a regular basis, it's not anything that I tell you. This is something that I do for my clients on a regular, because you're coming to me on a regular, I'm servicing you on a regular, and this is something that I can do for you because you're making an effort to keep up your hair regimen. So when I'm meeting with particular individuals in their hair loss journey, this is something that I do, something that I add because you're coming, you're sticking to the program. We set up a program for you. Programs are actually becoming more extensive because, hey, India, the more I know now, the more that I'm beginning to do. So when we're doing, I call them protocols. We actually sit down and we're actually now starting to look at one of the things that I have incorporated into my hair loss business and practice is a hair mineral tissue analysis test where I'm actually able to see your vitamin and mineral deficiencies in the body. And it's so important. Like I said, your hair is just not your hair. Your hair is growing from the inside out. So your inner body functions are playing such a big part on what's happening with the outer. So when we're working towards a goal, for me to just constantly just want to use a shampoo and just constantly want to use some topical ointments and treatments to solve your issue, we're like beating a dead wall. We're running into a wall because there are things that we just aren't not paying attention to. You have to pay attention to the inner you. You have to pay attention to what's on the inside of your body. Okay. Wanda Marie, I was commenting about the first thing that you do. Oh yeah. Before, when I'm meeting a hair loss client, thank you, Wanda. She was one of my assistants for a minute. When you are coming in for a hair loss service, yes, we do sit down, we do a consultation, and that hair mineral tissue analysis test to me is the most important. It is expensive. It is not cheap. I work with a lab. I work with a lab in Canada. I work with this lab in Canada because none of the labs here in the United States would work with me. But I actually talked with the lab technician, and I told him what I was attempting to do with trying to help women with hair loss and even help men with hair loss and young children as well that suffer with hair loss. And so he thought it was a very good addition to my business. And so he actually helps me to interpret the test. And a lot of times we don't put a lot of weight to the test. I've noticed that for some of the people that we've done it for, we'll listen to it, but we want this instant gratification. And we must realize that your hair started thinning way before it became visible to your eye. You started suffering from hair loss way before you became aware that it was even happening. When it is visible to your eye, that's when it has been major. That's why it's important. We have to go see stylists every now and then. I know it's costly. I know some of you don't want to sit in a salon. It takes too long. But you need somebody to look at your hair and scalp from an angle that you cannot see it. If you're constantly doing your own hair, you cannot see this part of your hair. You cannot see this part of your hair. You cannot see. You have one good side and one bad. You have one good side, you can do really good, but you can't see all of the areas of your scalp. You can't see how your scalp starts taking on different looks and different textures, and how you can actually see your hair spreading. You can actually see the follicles miniaturization, and you can actually see all types of things that are going on when you're going. A professional can see that, but you cannot see that with eyes view. And even if you did see it, would you know what to do? Would you know what you were looking at? So that's why it's important to not negate professional stylists and think that you can go to that you can go to YouTube University and go and mix some get these natural products and mix them on your hair. Not saying that those things are bad, but if you don't understand what you're looking at, and you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, then you're doing yourself a disservice. And then you're going to get to the point where you need to wear a lace wig, where you need to wear a non-surgical hair replacement unit, or you need to do all of these things, when if you had just gone to somebody on a regular basis just so they can see what's happening and what's going on, to tell you or to guide you what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right. So somebody asked about some conditioners and things during this season, what you can do when you're going and you're looking for products online, or you're looking for products in Walmart. Turn the back of the and read the labels. I know a lot of times you don't really understand a lot of the terminology, and you don't understand a lot of things that are written on the backs of a lot of these products and things. But one thing you want to look for, I'm not an advocate of products that are filled with coconut conditioners, coconut oil, coconut this, coconut that. Coconut has no benefit for African American hair. So when we're looking at products, we have to understand that there are particular products that are put on the market, and they have certain words, certain buzzwords to catch our attention. All natural, coconut oil, argan oil. What is another one that's always out there? Shea butter. These three are like the top three that I'm always hearing about, but they're not the top three that are beneficial for our hair types. Okay. Coconut oil category that it falls under. But what it does, it gets on the hair. It prevents moisture from coming in, and it prevents moisture from going out. So we need moisture. We need all the moisture we can get. So we don't need anything to block moisture. Of course, it can hold the moisture in, but if we need moisture coming in, we don't need anything to block it. So that's why we don't need to use coconut conditioners. Coconut conditioners are good for Caucasian hair because they don't want moisture. Moisture and oils actually makes their hair limp. It makes their hair weighty. Exclusive. Thank you, India. I knew you was on here. That's what coconut oil is. She is a hair loss specialist. We trained at the same school. Coconut oil is an exclusive, meaning it keeps moisture from coming in and it keeps moisture from going out. And we need our moisture. So we don't need that. We don't need argan oils, which are proteins. It's a protein. Shea butter is a protein. We already talked about our hair already being made up of protein. So that's not anything we need to use on a regular basis. What are the oils we need to have? Well, jojoba oils. Things that aren't, it's not that buzzword that new. Everybody's trying to find a new type of butter, a mango conditioner, or some kind of new something. Some of the old things work. They're fine. They will do okay. We also just want to make sure it is what it is. I went into Walmart some time ago, and it had on the front of it, and even though I wasn't a proponent of coconut oil, it said coconut oil conditioner, something, but big word, coconut. So I went, no, it wasn't coconut. It was jojoba, because that's one of the ones that I like. So on the outside of the label, it had jojoba. And I said, oh, wow. So I went and I turned around on the back side of the jar, and there was no jojoba in the product at all. So a lot of times, because African Americans, we care about our hair. We're going to do our hair. We're going to do what we need to do when it comes to our hair, our skin, and do what, buy the best things. But a lot of times, because we are that consumer, we are the ones who we're the ones that make the world go round. We're going to go and we're going to take care of these things. A lot of times, the marketing actually causes us to buy stuff that's really not beneficial. And it's not even what it says that it is. So we have to pay attention, read labels like we do with our food, read the labels, make sure what we're trying to buy is actually in the product and not be, misled anyway. Please, Dave, say that again. Marketing is killing the marketing. They chase us down. They know what we like. I don't know if there's a class that's like in China. What's up, Act Scott? I don't know if there's a class that's like in China where they sit back and they just study African Americans. Like, they know everything we like. They know everything we like. They know what food we eat. They know what type of styles we like to buy. They're into the hair. Whatever we've done with the hair, they're on it. They buy it. And they just pay so much attention to us, and we are making their pockets rich. We're making their businesses grow, but we will leave us to the side. We don't want to support our Black African American stylists. We want to do it ourselves. So support us, y'all. Let's support us. I know I can't do everybody. I don't want to do everybody. I really don't. I'm really kind of enjoying this, like being at home and stuff. But I was like, Lord, I'm getting lazy. I got to get up and go back to work because I need to make some money. But this has really been nice, spending time with family and all of that. We've been really having a good time. But are there any other questions? What's up, Justine Sorrell? How you doing? Nobody called in. I wanted to make sure. Try to do my little phone thing. Ain't nobody call me. Hey, Sorrell, sorry I missed so much of this. You may not remember what I'm going through. Alopecia in my, yes. Alopecia in your crown. Oh no, I gotta get there. So, oh yeah, Wendy, I know. I want you to get there. My hair is actually, this is extensions. This is actually, Madison, don't come in this live looking with your hair looking like I was looking. Madison creeping in the room trying to slide in, but I ain't going to show her today. She was laying down on that bed all day long. But this is actually hair extensions. I don't want to pull too hard because they actually need to be done again. My hair is about this long. And so if I pull too long, they'll probably slide out. But if I need to do Justine, a hair scalp analysis on your alopecia area to actually see, one of the first things I do when an individual comes in, I look at your scalp to see whether or not your hair follicles are closed or clogged, what your scalp environment looks like. Do you have inflammation in your hair follicle? Yes, it will show up. And with that information, and then going into all of your health concerns, things that's going on internally, how you eat, if you exercise. And one big factor is even what type of water you use to shampoo your hair. I made this analogy. My mother moved to Virginia. I had basically all of my aunts, they ended up, moving to Virginia. That's where we're from. And I had my mother moved down after my aunt. My aunt didn't have any problems with her hair. She would come up, I would do her hair. Her hair was growing, it was doing fine. But when my mother went to Virginia, when she came back to get her hair done, it looked like somebody was chewing on her hair. She wore a bob and it touched her shoulders really nice. But when she came back, it looked like somebody had been chewing on her hair. And I said, what is going on? We realized it was the water. Different water makes a difference. We have different types of waters. We have water that is filtrated from the city. We also have water that is what do they call it? when you have filters, well water, depending on different areas of Maryland, Baltimore, there's some people who are having well water. All of those different types of waters make a difference in how your hair feels, how your body feels when you wash. Sometimes people are suffering from a lot of itching on your skin. Did you ever think that it could be the water that you're using? And that came to me because my mother had that issue. She was scratching all over her body. So it wasn't just her hair. When she was taking her showers, it was affecting her skin as well. So we then realized the water is the issue. So there are so many factors that come in, and you got to sit down and you got to ask the right questions. Everything is not the same for everybody. So I can't address everybody's issue the same way because everybody's core lining issues are different. Is there anything you should do special if you've decided to stop coloring the grown? Yeah, that would probably really be nice. One of the things you must understand, though, gray hair is a monster in itself. Gray hair is so disrespectful, it's hard, and it's coarse, and it can tend to be dry. So you should make sure you really condition gray hair really well. The same things that you would do for hair in general, but just make sure that you really keep it oiled. So when you're doing oil, you don't want to be, like I said, being heavy-handed, sticking your hand in a jar and slavering it on. You just want to make sure you kind of have something that you kind of slap on every day to kind of keep it just lubricated so it can have some elasticity. What you don't want to do, remember I said you have to pay attention to two factors, your hair and your scalp. They both you have to pay attention to. So you don't want to use products that are going to clog your hair follicle, but you need to put things on your hair that can keep your hair lubricated and slick and easy so that you comb through and get through your hair. I can't wait for this quarantine to end so I can become yes, Shan, I would love to see you again, Shan. I would love to see you. Well, I am it's been an hour and 15 minutes. Oh my goodness, the time has really, really, really gone by. Thank you all for listening to me on today. I hope I have been of some great help to you all. I did put out my business phone number. That number is 667-352 4194 667-352-4194. You can inbox me if you have some questions throughout, as we get through this corona season. Let's just try to do our best to try to maintain. Try not to do no extra things to your hair. Let's not try doing all this color treatment and all this color stuff. I don't want y'all to hurt yourself. I did do a live not too long ago where they actually said that there was some relation with breast cancer and women, African-American women in color. There was a report that went out. I did a live about that a long ago. So we want to make sure of the different types of colors that you're using, that you're not using permanent color. If you do decide, before I sign off, it just kind of came to me, if you do decide to go and get some color during the season and you're looking at the box and it says permanent rinse. That is a permanent hair color. It's not a rinse. Please do not be deceived. Permanent rinse. It is a permanent color. It is not a rinse, which means that it will be drying. It can cause your hair to break. If you were just looking for a rinse, you need to make sure you're not doing that with relaxer. Don't try to do what the stylists do because we know what works best with what. So we know what colors can be used with relaxers. So please, please, please make sure before you go and start buying particular things that you pay attention to wording. And if you aren't sure, call your stylist, call me, call someone X before you go and you spend your money and you've caused some problems with your hair. Thank you, Miss Connie. Thank you so much. I'm glad you all have gotten some good information on today. Are there any other questions? Thank you so much for this. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I am following up with you. As soon as this is over, I see some hair, but it is short. I need an alternative to braids. Well, Justine, the other alternative I would suggest, and the only other weave technique that I like is crochet. And I think when you have those particular areas, one of the things that I do with clients who are suffering with hair loss, I try to do my best to keep your hands, the client's hands, out of your hair. So I will do crochet. I believe the crochet is the best weaving technique. You don't have to do a tremendous amount of braids. The hair isn't expensive, so we can take it and shampoo it every 2 to 3 weeks because the scalp needs to be clean. We need to be able to, if we're going to do topical treatments, we need to be able to put the topical treatments on there. So I will do crochet, and I like that because the scalp can still breathe. Like I said, it still can get all the things from the environment, how God set it up and how he wanted it. I do not like doing a lot of sew-and weaves, and I do not like doing a lot of lace wigs because lace wigs actually keeps the scalp and the hair from getting all the things from the environment, keeps it from getting all the moisture, all that the humidity offers, just all of those kinds of things. So I like to keep your hands, the client's hands, out of your hair so you can leave it alone. A lot of times you tend to stress over it. So braids aren't a bad thing, Justine. It's just allowing you to kind of leave it alone. The less we do, the more your hair can do what it needs to do. And if we find out that it just could be a vitamin imbalance, it just could be something that you need to put in your diet. If you have, if you're doing dieting, if you've changed your diet in any way, you've become a vegan, you're going to start seeing your hair thinning. What are some other things like I said dieting. I saw if you changed your eating habits, you stop eating red meat, like anything like that can actually shows a jolt, and what your body is used to getting. Okay. Hormonal changes, it'll show up in your hair as well. So when we start seeing your hair actually starts taking on a whole new different feel. Also your thyroids, if you're having a thyroid issue, your hair takes on a different feel. Your scalp takes on a different feel. Those are things that we will look for. Let's do it. Are you taking appointments now for then? Yep. As far as reopening, I actually, you all, don't tell nobody, but I have been doing just a couple of people, not a lot. Okay. Just going in, maybe doing 1 or 2 people a day. One, because I'm self-employed, I got to keep some money coming in. But I'm trying not to overload, have too many people in the salon at one time because of the coronavirus. So I have been really, really an advocate of one of the things that I've been talking to all my clients about. So I am taking appointments, but I'm not. I'm doing a little bit. I'm just kind of doing regular people. I'm not doing the onslaught of things. But it's all in how you feel. If you don't have a fever and you're in good health and you've been quarantined. Now, I don't want to be like, prejudiced in the sense, but those people who have been out in the environment, those are actually people I'm kind of saying, let's give it a break. If you've been working regularly, you're on the front line. I don't mean to be, putting you out there in a sense or just saying no, but you really are the ones who have been more exposed to the coronavirus. So I'm trying to wait for those individuals to kind of give your bodies the ability to be able to build it back up your immune system, just make sure you're not having any issues or any problems with your health as well. So yeah, I'm kind of at work, but I'm not working full time. So if you understand any of what I just said, try to figure it out. But just give me a call, 667-352-4194, or you can inbox me and we can answer any other questions or any other concerns that you might have. Miko Baldwin, Shelly Spence, y'all signing on, and I'm getting ready to get off. Thank you all for so much for tuning in with me and sharing with me, and me being able to answer any hair questions you may have. Again, please, thank you so much, Carolyn Lassane. If you all, Carolyn just did something. She actually sent me a Cash App because I am, like I said, self-employed. And so if those who would like to help me out during this season, you have not, if you ask not, you can Cash App me at $Max, MAX 21211. And say the number again. The number is 667-352-4194. 667-352-4194. And if you would love to be a blessing, I would love to receive it. And thank you so much for being a blessing to me and my family, keeping us going through this season. I am taking early appointments and early payments or early deposits for those people who want to put their appointments in. I know I'm going to be, when this is over, I know all of y'all going to want to come see me. But I do have a booking system. It's called Booksy, Booksy. You can make appointments online at Booksy. And we can talk and I can reach out to you there. And also we can still, do phone consultations for now. And we can work some things out. Okay. What's going on, Mika? So are there any more questions before I sign off? Everybody's like kind of scrambling into the kitchen because I ain't cooked nothing yet. And I don't cook so much. I don't cook more since I've been off on this coronavirus than I have my whole entire marriage. I'm right here cooking up so much. Oh, but it's been fun. I've been enjoying the time with my family. So about to sign off again. For those who want to call me, 667-352-4194. You may inbox me, okay? And if you would love to sow a seed, $Max 21 to 11. All right. Love you guys so much. Thank you for all of you all who signed on today. And y'all be blessed out here in this corona season. And y'all be careful, build up those immune systems. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care. Bye.